after the election of Legislative Assembly, there must be 226 or more members of any one party. This party is then said to be the majority party, and the leader of this party is the new chief minister. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to call Anup to introduce us to the central government and the judiciary. Let us know about the coordination of executive. The executive consists of the president, the vice president, the prime minister, the council of ministers, and the attorney general. The head of the Indian unit, also known as the first citizen of India, is our honorable president. He acts as symbol of solidarity, unity, and integrity of the nation. But keep in your mind that the president is a nominal head, as the prime minister is the real head. If you like to be a future president, qualifications for you. You must be an Indian citizen. Your minimum age required is 35 years. You should be mentally sound and not be bankrupt. The vice president performs duties of the president when the position is vacant or the president is unable to perform his or her duties and even in absentia. Let us know about the formation of judiciary. The Chief Justice of India is the head of judiciary. He is appointed by the president. Also the important members like the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts, the governors, the election commission and the ambassadors to other countries are appointed by the president. Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is known as the upper house, second house, council of states and the permanent house. Let us know about the qualifications for being a member of Rajya Sabha. The person must be a citizen of India. Minimum age required is 30 years. The person should be mentally sound and not be bankrupt. Office of profit should not be there. Term. The term is 6 years and can't be dissolved before. One of office members retire every 2 years and after that a new member is elected. Officers of Rajya Sabha. Chairman, ex officio, also known as the Vice President. His term is 5 years and age required is 35 years. Deputy Chairman, he or she is elected from the members of Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is also known as first house of lower house, house of the people, and temporary house. Qualifications for being a member of Lok Sabha. The person must be a citizen of India. Minimum age required is 25 years. The person should not be a criminal. The person should be mentally sound and not be bankrupt. Office of profit should not be there. Term. The term is 5 years and this is dissolved. One of office members retire every 2 years and after that a new member is elected. Officers of Lok Sabha. Speaker. The Speaker is the presiding officer of Lok Sabha. He or she is generally elected in the first meeting of Lok Sabha following general elections. Om Birla of the Bharatiya Janata Party is our current Speaker. Deputy Speaker. He or she is the Vice Presiding Officer of Lok Sabha. Acts as the officer in case of leave or absence created by death or illness of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Thank you. Accept my deepest thanks, Anuki. Now it's time to take a step inside the Parliament. The Lok Sabha has 22 front seats spread across 6 blocks. While the opposition sits to the right of the Speaker, the Prime Minister, his colleagues in the government, other party or coalition party MPs occupy seats located to the left of the Speaker's chair. Now that we have gathered a lot of significant information about the Indian Parliament, its working, function, formation and arrangement, let us have a look at the Parliament.
sir. I, Jagdish Mahajan, do swear in the name of God that I, Jagdish Mahajan, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India. I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, that I will discharge my duties as a minister for the Union. I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the law and the Constitution without any fear, favor, affection or ill will. Thank you.
Honorable members, as we meet today, it is my duty to inform you all about the sad demise of our colleague, Sri Durga Prasad Rao from Tirupati constituency, Sri H. Vasant Kumar from Tamil Nadu, and Sri Ramvilas Paswan from Hajipur constituency, Bihar. Sri H. Vasant Kumar and Bali Durga Prasad Rao passed away due to COVID-19 infection, and Sri Ramvilas Paswan passed away due to cardiac arrest. Honorable members, I request you all to stand up and observe silence for 1 minute to pay condolence to this member.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Now the question asked starts. Question number 1.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Madam, will the Minister of Defence be pleased to state whether it is a fact that there have been some military casualties coming at high altitudes? If so, the details of past 3 years and the reasons therefor. In this way, to protect the soldiers from casualties and high altitudes, such as mobilization government, provide the favorable environment to the soldiers working at that place. What action has been taken by the government and Honorable Defence Ministry?
Honorable Minister of Defence.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Madam, Allah, safety and compromise. My dear friend, isn't safety important? Isn't safety and risk go side by side? Safety is such an important thing that we cannot live without it. अब क्या मुझे आपको समझाना पड़ेगा सुरक्षा की महत्वता. There have been 22 casualties in the past 3 years in the Siachen Glacier and the other super altitudes like HPD and PT. I'm on to all the casualties, but we have to move on. पता है ना ये जगह कहाँ मौजूद है? पता ही होगा, काफी समझदार हैं आप. 8 of our soldiers have lost their lives serving in 2018, and another 8 in 2017, another 6 in 2017. क्या मैं अब ये समझूं कि अंधा पानी को राहत कर चला है? Indian Army is highly deployed in high terrain among the state in Jammu and Kashmir. There is a constant threat of crevasses, avalanches. Whether it is a constant threat of crevasses, avalanches, another whether it is calamities. The government, opposition members, God is in the battle. The government will take several steps like pre-induction, medical examination, medical cover, and all our medical equipments. There have been several methods to do this. We are also utilizing modern technological equipment for the rescue mission, the timely evacuation of all the casualties, and safety of our armed members. I am the Defence Minister of India, and my only concern is India's defence and safety. At the end of the day, the goals are simple: safety and security. And my dear friend, safety isn't expensive; it's priceless. आशा करता हूँ कि मेरी सभी जगहों से आपको सभी उत्तरों का आशा करता हूँ कि मेरी जगहों से आपके सभी सवालों का उत्तर मिल गया होगा. And I would like to appreciate you that you have shown some concern for the Indian Army and their security. That's it.
Next question, please.
With the permission of Honorable
The number of public funded health research institutes and apex public institutions established under the Department of Health Research for strengthening healthcare policy in the country. The number of government and privately run medical institutes that are engaged in doing research on health policy. Whether the government plans to establish more such institutes in the country in next year, if so, the details thereof.
Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare.
सबर रखिए, सबर का फल मीठा होता है। मैं आपके हर एक प्रश्न का उत्तर दूंगा। With the permission of Honorable Speaker Ma'am, I would like to answer the question raised by opposition member. Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR), an autonomous body under Department of Health Research, spreads planning, coordination, formulation, implementation, and promotion of biomedical research in the country. It has 26 research challenges. The research has led to understanding of various diseases of national importance, such as Kala Azar, malaria, tuberculosis, Japanese encephalitis, etc., and also of some current public health issues such as child, maternal, reproduction, occupational, and environmental health. During 2019 to 20, ICMR has allocated an amount of rupees 818 crores for intramural research through its affiliated institutes. मैं आशा करता हूँ कि मेरा उत्तर आपको संतुष्ट करे। Thank you.
Question number 3.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask the question to the ruling party member. The details of impact of COVID-19 on the consequent lockdown on the sector of agriculture. The details of increase of incidence of agriculture farm death as a consequence of COVID-19 and the lockdown sector of India. The details of increase of the details of impact of COVID-19 on the incomes of small and small farmers in the nationwide lockdown. Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. With the permission of Honorable Speaker, I would like to answer the question asked by the opposition member. During this challenging times, the livelihood of most of the workers and farmers have been severely impacted by COVID-19. Immediately after the nationwide lockdown was announced, the government declared an 1.7 trillion package, mostly to protect the vulnerable section from any adverse impact of COVID-19. The announcement, among a slew of benefits, contained an advance release of 2,000 to the bank accounts of farmers as an income support under the government also raised the wage rate for workers engaged under the NREGS, National Rural Employment Federation, National under the special scheme to take care of the vulnerable section. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana has been announced. Additional payment outcomes for digital beneficiaries were also announced, for which a special PM CARES fund has been created. Cash and food assistance to people engaged in the informal sector, mostly laborers, have been announced. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research (ICAR) has issued state-wise guidelines for farmers to be followed. During the lockdown period, the advisory mentions specific practices during the harvest and threshing of various crops as well as post-harvest and marketing of farm produce. Thank you. Question number 4.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, will the Minister of Finance be pleased to state that during this pandemic procuring the raffle and government strategy to pay goods and service tax shares, how it justifies the year has brought a host of economical challenges for us and the matter seems to be worse. And if the government believes so that it has no money to pay the goods and service tax shares, if so, the details therefore.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Ma'am, I would like to answer the question raised by the opposition member. First of all, I would like to make the opposition member be known to the fact that why the goods and service tax was being implemented. Due to the compensation of taxes under binding no answers to this question. Also, it is clear in hindsight that even before the COVID-19 pandemic situations, when the center's revenue was falling because of a number of recessions and unwarranted corporate tax concessions, it had decided to revisit its commitments to compensate the states for the shortfalls in the GST revenue. The delays in transferring not just the revenues but also the IGST, that is International Goods Service Tax revenue shares, were the pointers to the new norm. Also, when the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic subsequently resulted into the lockdown, which consequently had an decrease and an impactful decrease on the revenue collections of the Union government. Also, if the respected member of opposition is very much interested in knowing the numbers, then let me introduce you with them. The total sum that the compensation that the Union government needs to pay to states is around 3 lakh crores. While the government has a revenue collections of around only 70,000 crores, which leads to a shortfall of around 2.3 lakh crores. Therefore, the Union government has no sort of money to fulfill the needs of the states. Coming back to the second question, I think we a topic that should not be debated in the parliament because the case of Rafael was an extremely important part of the national security. And I personally believe that security is not a topic to be debated. As such, if it is important for the safety of the nation. The deal of the Rafael, which took place between India and France, was an event that took place before the COVID-19 pandemic. And yes, I agree that the purchase of Rafael has counted a sum of around 60,000 crores, which has resulted in a decrease in the economical fixtures of the country. But as said earlier, that the purchase of these 36 Rafael and the arrival of them into the Indian defense system will make India rise as a superpower in the world. And also talking about the impact of it on the economy of India, I say that it will be compensated by the infusion of it into the battlefield. Also, I think that the purchase of Rafael has different individual perceptions. And as the finance minister of India, I think that the purchase of Rafael is a very thoughtful and a security concern decision against the government of India. It is rightly written in Hindi that घर में पड़ी मोटी कमाई कोई काम ना आई, घर में पड़ी मोटी कमाई कोई काम ना आई, बच्चों के गुल्लक टूटे तो घर में सर किया। Which means that it's not about how much money you have, it's about how you utilize it. And I will say at end of my answer by saying this one sentence, that the purchase of Rafael should be seen as an investment rather than just an purchase. I would end up, and I think that was a satisfying answer for the opposition. Thank you.
Next question, please.
The Commissioner of Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Road Transport and Highways will please to state, the government is a aging infrastructure, road congestion, routine irrigation, traffic, insufficient maintenance and vendor. The road transport system is efficient in the country. If so, the details thereof along with the reaction of the government thereto. The research and development efforts are needed in the theme areas such as development of smart materials, innovative designs and maintenance technologies.
Honorable Minister of Road Transport and Highways.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Ma'am, I would like to answer the question raised by the respected opposition member that due to the increasing population, problems like heavy traffic and road congestion occur, for which national town planning in the constitution states that phrase passes are not allowed. National town planning is followed by every state as regional town planning. During the town planning, it is taken care that emergency transport could reach the settlement. Chapter 8, Control of Traffic, Section 112 states that to secure the safety of its civilians and the roads, the government has placed traffic signals, signboards, as well as speed holders according to the type of settlement. Under Chapter 21, Section 74, Sale of movable property date specified in the certificate of registration. At last, for the aging infrastructure, trespassers are removed and new roads are being built. Thank you.
Question number 6.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, building education itself is to say, are the present virtual classes sufficient to meet students' needs, especially preschool, where foundation is primary? If so, the details of whether measures have been taken to change assessment and evaluation practices throughout the country in uniform manner due to change in class nature. If so, the details of whether the government plans to formulate long-term strategy of digital education for secondary school. If so, the details of
Honorable Minister of Education.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker Madam, I am pleased to state some of the great measures taken by the government in the field of education. Ministry of Education released Suragata guidelines on online education. The guidelines provide a roadmap for carrying forward enhanced quality online education. The guidelines also recommend screen time for different categories of students, such as pre-primary, classes 1 to 8 and classes 9 to 12. The guideline is useful for a diverse set of stakeholders, including school heads, teachers, parents, teacher educators, and students. Physical health and mental wellness is stressed across the guidelines so that the children do not get overly stressed or do not get affected negatively owing to prolonged use of digital devices. The guidelines also provide sufficient do's and don'ts for ergonomics and cyber safety. Online classes are being conducted by the schools and universities all over the country using various digital tools. Various efforts have been made for the creation of digital infrastructure which will not only be helpful in the current circumstances but will be a valuable asset in the future in the field of learning and teaching. Next, in view of the situation arising due to COVID-19 pandemic, University Grants Commission has issued guidelines on examinations and academic calendar on 29th of April 2020. Further, in continuation of the guidelines, the Commission issued revised guidelines on 6th of July 2020, considering there will be scope for alternative assessment measures. The Ministry has asked the CBSE and ICSE board to bring out necessary changes in the practices of assessing and evaluating the students, which will make the process smooth and in a uniform manner all over the country. And the Ministry will also make sure that it will take adequate measures in adequate intervals of time whenever required. Then coming to the main point, with regard to digital education strategy for secondary education, a comprehensive initiative called PME Vidya has been initiated which unifies all the platforms, digital, online and on-air education to enable multi-mode access to education. The initiative includes Diksha, nation's digital infrastructure for providing quality content for school education in states and union territories. And QR coded enterprise textbooks for all grades, that is one nation, one digital platform. One earmarked TV channel per class, 1 to 12, that is one class, one channel. And extensive use of radio, community radio and CBSE podcast Shikshawani has been made. Also, it contains special content for visually and hearing impaired students developed on digitally accessible information system and in sign language or National Institute of Women Schooling website, which can also be accessed on YouTube. And last but not least, the new Education Policy 2020, which will soon be implemented and will result in a great revolution in this field. Thank you.
The session is adjourned for tomorrow.
Wow, what a marvelous, amazing, superb tour of Indian Parliament. It was such a beautiful experience. Both the parties have debated many bills and matters of public importance. This completely student-led initiative is a showcase of passion and ability of the youth of India. Franklin Roosevelt once said, "We cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." This mock parliament is about addressing youth political awareness and encouraging young people to develop their own personal views about the nation's future. Even in this hard times of pandemic, when we all are surrounded with a lot of problems and tensions, these 60 minutes of mock parliament actually helped us to get relief from our stress and problems. I, on the behalf of all the participants, is very much thankful to the school management and teachers for initiation of such activities, which promote a series of skills and exposes us to the local, current, economical and political events. Now, I would request Principal Sir to please inspire us with their few words.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, future parliamentarians. I would like to address them like that. Because you are a member of parliament, you are the representative of the local body from the grassroots level, you are reaching to these great heights. And as school, we will be really appreciating your efforts in the future to grow to that level that you represent the common man. Very thankful to the social science department, the HOD of social science department to take such a wonderful initiative in a more better way. My lovely colleagues always there with us for all the events to happen in a most beautiful way, religious way. We had followed all the protocols laid down by the Indian government, the SOPs that is required by the ICMR for conducting of this small event. This event is majorly focusing on three aspects, not only to groom our children to greater heights, to build self-confidence as part of your content studies in social science. We would like to know what is exactly happening in the parliament, what are the norms to be followed as a parliamentarian. These are some basic guidelines that you see. Second thing, in this pandemic, it is a very great initiative from your parents' side. I will be thankful to your parents as well to send you as a corona warrior, if I can say. You have come here, you have presented this program. We were having plans to conduct it virtually, but upon request from the social science department as well as from you all, you wanted to come to school and take a live participation for this. So great thanks to you all. Please clap. We really miss you all. We really miss you all. Okay? And it's a great initiative. I'll say thanks to the social science department, individually the HOD, Ms. Bharati, Usha Madam, Vice Principal Madam Anita, and Mr. Hemant, who have taken days and nights, I think almost after the lunch session, every 2 o'clock when you had the virtual session with these students. They were also struggling that they had sessions till 12:30, 1 o'clock, and after that you were joining. Virtually you took part. And I would like to appreciate if our parliaments could be touching your quality. The legislative assembly, the MLAs, how they behave, the member of parliament, what are the ethics to be followed, what are the protocols, because these are off records, if I can say, what is exactly required from you say democracy is for the people, by the people, okay? And you are representing a group of people around you. So you have to have the professional ethics, moral values, then only like you maintain these things in your life, you can reach, arrive at your heights, what is being required. So I am thankful to all my lovely colleagues, the social science department, and a wonderful lot of cabinet ministers and the opposition. I will not say the for and the against, but either did the justice to it. And I expect even the stenographers, what you call the Secretary General and the colleagues with them, and the Honorable Speaker, did a wonderful job what is being required and mandated by Constitution of India. Our Constitution Day is arriving November 26th. We'll be having our Diwali holidays during that time. Please be posted about the basic things, requirement, why we have the Constitution to be so much with the respect that we give for the Constitution and the preamble that we have laid upon. You can see at the back. Each word has its own significance and importance. Each word, if you just read justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, means very sound and very good words in that you are feeling. We, the people of India, have solemnly resolved the to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. It's an awesome combination, and India only has the privileges of having all these five laid up together. As a good parliamentarian, as a good student, we need to follow these basic ethics, basic rules what we are being guided on. You know the value of these five words when you hear, when you go abroad. When you go out of India, you get to know the value of it. So God bless you all, and a wonderful effort for the social science department. Hats off to you all. Thank you all. Thank you, teachers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words, and will surely fulfill all the expectations of teachers and school management. Thank you once again, and have a nice day.
Ready for microphone. Vande